Let's close everything else.
Do this.
Yep. Close that. And then go to the blue one. You hit sign in.
Can I not drag this into my
It's different Google accounts. That's why.
Yeah, well, we still have a camera. No, that'd be sense. Is there any sound?
Cool kids.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. We got some seats down here, too, if alumni want to join closer to be able to see. We have homecoming packet. If anyone needs to pick one up, we got more in the front here with all the reports and material. I think we're good to go. So, my name is Matt Skarzak. I'm the current association board president. And today I will call the annual meeting of the Iowa State Association of Farmhouse Fraternity to order. To intro, brothers, I'd like to remind you that our chapter has been meeting since 1927 and our fraternity since April 15th, 1905, with the intention of building men. Our fraternity believes in fourfold development, growing men intellectually, spiritually, socially, morally, and physically. In order that we might be reminded to direct our association and chapter in a manner in which our founders would find honorable and our brothers across the world would respect, I ask that you please rise and recite the object of our fraternity. And then our chaplain will lead us in a prayer afterwards. The object of our fraternity
is to promote good fellowship, to encourage studiousness, and to inspire its members in seeking the best in their chosen lines of study, as well as in life. Progress shall mark our every step. The spirit and congeniality shall reign at all times, and every member shall be honest with himself, as with his brothers. The men elected to our membership are considered to be of good moral character, to be high in scholarship, to have the capacity for meeting and making friends, and to promise of service to their fellow men and to the world. To be and become such may at times require sacrifice of time, pleasures, and comforts.
Bow your heads. Dear God, we just thank you for bringing us all here today, bring all the alumni, all the families, all the actives here to just learn about our chapter, learn how we can grow, learn how we can just be better and glorify you, God. Help us to grow in all ways of the fourfold, help keep the rain away during game time, and let's have a good, productive meeting. Amen.
Amen.
All right, you guys can have a seat. Yeah. We'll just assume everyone's here. All right, first on the agenda is the approval of the 2021 meeting minutes. I think that's somewhere in the packet. Couple pages that we put together. Basically, the highlights. We met last year on October 23rd, 2021. No additional members were added on the board, and prior year's transactions were approved, and then the 2022 budget was approved as well. And then I think we beat Okie State, but that's not in there. Did we win the game last year? Oh, we won a game. Cool. Sweet. You might want to add that. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I had. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes. We got a motion by Dan. Second. All right. There's been motion seconded to approve the 2021 annual meeting minutes. Any discussion? Any questions? Okay, seeing none, I'll move to a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Nice. All right, now that we got that done, let's move into reports. I've included my my report in the packet. So yeah, starting with the association board. Yeah, my name is Matt Skarshaug, 2010 initiate for the chapter. I've served, I think this is my 4th year on the board. I'd like to introduce the other board members that are here as well. So if you're here, go ahead and stand so we can recognize your faces. We got Dwayne Wolf, Ryan Zinasek, Dan Johnson, Maynard Hoberg, and Ken Ashley. So thanks guys for serving. And then also the guy the glue of the association board would definitely be Eugene Rodgerd for doing a great job as a association treasurer, and he's probably got another 30 years ahead of him doing the same job. So, but yeah, honestly, Eugene's been doing a great job keeping us to the budget and keep track of every dollar in and out. So, thank you, Eugene, for serving that role. In terms of the yearly activities, we got a new AC system in the cold airs. That was kind of our big project for the summer. Dwayne Wolf did a great job working with Converse Air, our vendor, to get that installed. So the guys, I think that's going well. It's a huge improvement. And I don't know why we need AC in the cold airs, but it probably smells a lot better in there. So that's a good addition. But yeah, other than that, just another great year. Really proud of the chapter leadership, communication with the board, and yeah, it's been a great year so far. So with that, I encourage you to read the rest of the report, and we'll go ahead and move on to Ryan Herron, our chapter president, with his report. So, Ryan.
Yeah. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here. This is a great day. I thoroughly enjoy this meeting every year. Not necessarily the meeting per se, but getting to meet everyone, getting to see everyone. Leading the meeting is obviously a part of it. So if we haven't met yet, my name is Ryan Herron. I'm a senior from West Des Moines, Iowa. I'm studying software engineering and data science. I'll be graduating this spring, and I've had the great honor to be serving as president for this calendar year. So the E in FarmHouse stands for excellence. And just like our tradition of excellence has lasted for the last 100 or so years, this year has been no different. So, with six weeks left in my term and in the school year, I'd just like to reflect on some of the things that continues to mark our brotherhood as making progress at every step. So looking back to the spring semester, we started off with recognition of our 4th consecutive semester of having the highest GPA out of all Iowa State fraternities. Which we have accomplished that 6 of the last 7 semesters. And on top of that, we've been top 3 in grades each of the past 26 semesters, so 13 years, which is really just a testament to our tradition of excellence in the academic part of the fourfold. That's also every single academic report that SFE has on file. So there's never been a time that anyone can find that we've missed grades in the last 20 years. So it's an awesome testament. Additionally, at the FarmHouse Leadership Institute in the beginning of January, we were recognized by FarmHouse International for the Community Service Award. Our members contributed over 3,200 hours of community service during the 2021 calendar year. So that was awesome. Our guys have really been giving back to the community. We pace all IFC fraternities here at Iowa State in community service hours every year. So continuing to build on that. We also enjoyed a full spring full of events. We started off the semester with our annual ski trip to Copper Mountain in Colorado. That tradition's been going on for a very long time. In April, we had our spring formal in Madison, Wisconsin, which was a great time. And then we hosted the first ever Testicle Festival philanthropy in support of the Testicular Cancer Society We raised over $6,000 for the Testicular Cancer Society and the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Kyle Goranson, are you here right now? Kyle, stand up. Kyle's our philanthropy chair. He did an awesome job taking what was just an idea that was made at the SALT conference at the dinner table of Russ Jones, one of our advisors. And they're just like, you know what, spring philanthropy, we haven't done it in a couple of years because COVID kind of ruined those plans. Let's make a new one. And so that idea was pitched. Kyle took it and ran with it, and it was an awesome turnout. So back to having this philanthropy every spring and every fall. Additionally, we had our Founders Day celebration in April here at the chapter facility, and we had a record-breaking $80,000 in scholarships awarded to chapter members. So thank you all for your contributions and continuing to support the chapter members and their academic endeavors through those scholarships. So thank you all for that. Moving forward to this fall, we initiated 24 members into the Brotherhood. Our current membership sits at 98. So we had that pearl ceremony about 3 weeks ago, which is an awesome time. We had a great new member education process. I just like to recognize our new member educators, Matthew Cupp and Brock Sebaski. They did an awesome job going through that. Yeah, you guys can say that. We again celebrated being number one in grades from last spring, which was great. Our house average GPA over the past 7 semesters is a 3.49. The next highest over that span is Beta Sigma Psi, and they have a 3.37. So a 0.12 difference between first and second over the last 7 semesters is incredible. We're continuing to just pace everyone in that aspect. This September, again, we held our annual Burrito Philanthropy, raising, at least in my time in the House, a record of $7,800 for Children's Cancer Connection of Iowa and the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So again, Kyle, great work on that one. We're continuing to grow and how much we can donate. So our 2022 philanthropy total was around 14,000, which was second most out of all sororities and fraternities at Iowa State. And there was one sorority that beat us with 17,000. So we're doing an awesome job just to give back and continue to use what we've been gifted to give back to the community and the world around us. Yeah, and then in addition, this year so far, so we have 2 months left in this semester, our chapters contributed over 3,000 community service hours. So we're looking to go back to back on that community service award at FLI in January. In other news, as a side thing, we've just really seen a big increase in mental health issues and problems over the past, couple of years. A lot of that can be contributed to the pandemic, but as a house, we've really increased the presence of our mental health committee. Ben Vanderleest and Colby Richter, if you guys are in the room, you just want to stand up. They've been leading our mental health committee this semester. It's been a great way to get guys the resources they need, the support they need. Clap for Ben. They started having mental health Fridays where guys can just have a safe place to go and discuss their feelings and get the help they need if they need it. So that's something we've really been focusing on. It's really just come up as a challenge for a lot of guys in the past couple of years. And so we're really looking forward to grow on that and continue to push to be healthy in all aspects. Finally, as Matt talked about a little bit in his report, the chapter facility remains in good shape for the most part. It's well maintained throughout the week through the course of head duties, waiter duties, and our all-house cleaning duties. On Thursday nights, we finished the project this summer to install the commercial mini split air conditioning into the pads, which has been a great improvement. Very nice compared to the little mini wall or window air conditioners that we had in there before. So that's been great. The association board has been really hard at work, just identifying areas of the house to improve and really just making this place to continue to be one of the top Greek chapters facilities in all of the Midwest. So thank you to the association board for that. That wraps up all of my report. If you ever have any questions or concerns or comments, my contact information is linked on this paper on the packet. Don't hesitate to email or text me if you ever need anything. Thank you all for being here.
Next up, we got the treasury report with Eugene.
All right. Advance to the next one. So overall, again, I have the pleasure of standing before you for the 5th time as the treasurer to tell you your association is in really good financial position. Okay, that should be the end of the report. But let's get a few more things. So Dr. Lonergan will talk about this a little bit more after I'm completed. But our foundation accounts, we've got accounts with ISU Foundation and also with the FarmHouse Foundation. And in your packet, you can see more details about which ones of those are endowed accounts, which ones of those are accounts where we pay on a yearly basis. But when you look at the amounts of money that we have, and we talked about the $80,000 of scholarships we give out to deserving young men, that's because we've got all these different accounts for scholarships, both at ISU Foundation, almost a $250,000 there, and then for scholarships from the Iowa State or from the FarmHouse Foundation, just short of $1.4 million of accounts there that we can draw from these scholarships. That money came from you. All of the alumni who have donated over the years to those scholarships or set up a scholarship, we can't do it without you. So you are, thanked as often as we possibly can, and I don't think we do it often enough. But thank you for all those contributions to make those funds available for scholarships. There's other funds here. The one that I do want to point out on the very bottom is the building fund. And we'll talk more about some of the things that we've been doing with the building fund, but there's $400,000 at FarmHouse Foundation that we're able to draw upon through grants that we receive. And again, that fund is still open for those who would like to contribute more to it. We're using those funds for all kinds of house improvement projects as we move through the years. So the reason we can keep this world-class facility, worlder-classer, if that's a real word, is because of the contributions that you have given over the years. We're able to draw on those funds and do things like putting in the HVAC system to help make the pads not smell like the pads. So all kinds of really good opportunities for us to utilize those funds that you've given. So again, thanks for your contributions. And again, Dr. Lonergan will talk more about that. Next slide. Cash flow. So this blue line was what we had voted for budget next year. And I keep track of where we end with our total funds in our accounts every single month. And you can see we start low just because of when rent is due and when bills are due. And then we jump up to about $250,000 and then we work our way down. So at the end of the year, we end up where we started, zero by the budgeting. FarmHouse grant, you see that big spike up in the red line there. Not to get too much into the minutia of IRS rules, because I know everybody loves to talk about the IRS, but the IRS reclassified some of the funds that we've been paying on our mortgage. So we were able to actually take a fairly large grant from the FarmHouse Foundation funds, that $400,000 that you all have contributed to. We were able to take those funds, and as it happened, we needed to put that HVAC system in. So we're able to get that $130,000 in one pocket and take $100,000 out of the other to pay for the HVAC system. So again, the Lord must have been smiling on us, because the emails hit at the same time that the bill, here's what it's going to cost, and here was the check from Allison. It was, the Lord works in mysterious ways. So it was incredible that happened about the same time. So again, we finished $92,000 ahead of where we were budgeted. So we started this year on a really high plane. So overall, again, like I said, we are in great financial position. Next slide. These are my 5 years that I've been the treasurer, the monthly ending balance, and then the projected for fiscal 23, which we're in right now. You can see that we pretty well float all year around that $200,000 of prudent reserve. And that's essentially about half a year's worth of expenses. So if something catastrophic were to happen, like the pandemic in fiscal 20, we have enough cash reserve where we're able to get through something like that, where we shut the house down, we give the chapter back a refund, we basically have nothing coming in. And you can see in fiscal 20, we actually ended up with more money at the end of the fiscal year than we started with, because again, we have such a nice financial foundation to draw upon that we're able to do those sort of things. So your budget in the file, you'll see that I'm actually, and the board approved, and we'll vote on it later, a negative budget this year. It's the first negative budget I've ever submitted, but because we ended the year at 92,000 ahead, I think we can give 50 some odd thousand back to FarmHouse Foundation to pay off more on the mortgage. And I'll show you that here in a second, what that will look like. So this is the budget, and yeah, because of translation, it kind of doesn't look the same, but you can just see where things fit. Next chart. So here's the budget. It's in the packet. First column is the fiscal 22 budget. Middle is the actual in yellow. Really hard to see from the back, I know. So I'll kind of walk through some of the key numbers. I project out for 3 fiscal years. So we have a plan at least for going out into the future. And you can see the extra debt payment is above and beyond what we would normally pay on the mortgage. So we'll pay that down faster in the proposed budget that I have. We're paying double payments right now, and then that will continue through to fiscal 25. I think there's some build effects that come in next. So here was the grant that we received from FarmHouse Foundation. We had budgeted to receive about $74,000 from FarmHouse Foundation. Because of that influx of $130,000, we were able to almost $220,000 that we were able to get from FarmHouse Foundation. Next build. Then, as a consequence, we were able to draw on some of the ISU Foundation funds for their building fund. And so we pulled in $42,400 roughly in matching funds. And if you want to talk finance afterwards, I'd love to talk to everybody about it. So, but I don't think everyone wants to hear all the minutia of how that all works. But we were able to draw from several sources of funds last year, again, because of generous donations by alumni. Next one. And then here is the home improvement line. Because we paid for the HVAC system, we put in almost $116,000 worth of improvements into this property last year. Ongoing, you can see that ongoing, we're going to do 44 this year, 45 the next year, and 46,000 improvements the following years. Windows, flooring, lighting. Who knows? We may have to buy a furnace sometime. Touch wood, we have not had to. So we've got plans at least to be able to cover those sort of things. Next. Yep. And then the double mortgage payment. So pie chart, what's our biggest expense? Our biggest expense is our mortgage. $240,000 that we're going to pay next year on the mortgage. You can see where the others come in, 13% for utilities, 11% for taxes. We are still on our abatement on our taxes. We were able to apply because of the urban revitalization project the Story County has. FarmHouse fell into that. So our $3 million expansion actually helped to reduce our taxes, which was kind of fun. Even though it raised our taxes, we got, slaps you on one face that side with one hand and patch on the back with the other, I guess. So anyway, so overall, again, we're in great shape. Next one. So here's the budget. The green circles are where we get grants from FarmHouse Foundation. That's where the numbers jump up pretty significantly. So again, we're planning to finish this year short of where we were last year, where we started the fiscal year. And that's programmed. We'll still finish with around $160,000 in total money at the end of the fiscal year. The mortgage. So where are we at on the mortgage? So there's 3 lines on here. Again, they're somewhat hard to see, but you can see the trend. The blue line, when we started out, we had a $1.5 million mortgage. And if we had paid according to the way that the bank wanted us to pay, it would have been a 25-year mortgage. And so we would have paid off the mortgage in 39. So a pretty long-term 25-year project, which is normal. Well, Dr. Lonergan had the foresight to increase our monthly payment from $87,000, whatever it was, to $10,000 per month. That additional money paid off principal. And so the red line is the plane that we were able to establish because of his foresight and moving that small amount of money over a long period of time. So those of you that are thinking about your 401ks, college students, and how important it is for compounding interest, this is what compounding interest does. It takes a 25-year loan and turns it into a 15-year loan. Pretty effective way to get your money working harder for you. So again, thank you, Dr. Lonergan. The green line, and this chart's a little bit goofed up, but the green line is where we project we're going to finish because we paid more on the mortgage than we had to. The double mortgage we're paying this year. So we will actually, we're on target right now to pay off the mortgage in April of 29. So going from 35 to 29, we have significantly reduced the time that it's going to take to pay off that mortgage. Again, because we're able to access grants and because of, again, generous donations, we're able to do that. So next slide. So what's our ask? our ask is if you have the financial opportunity to contribute to the chapter building fund, there's both a chapter fund at FarmHouse Foundation and also at the Iowa State Foundation. Again, those funds are funds that we can tap into as we do projects here, and we submit grants every quarter to get those funds. If you have also financial means and you want to contribute directly to the foundation in a non-deductible way, those funds are more than welcome. We've had several alumni over the years that have just given money directly to us, and we put that toward projects in the house. We bought couches, we bought windows, we've used those funds for lots of other small little projects. Again, contributing to the ISU Farmhouse Building Fund. Mentoring students. I know there's been a real push by Farmhouse fraternity to link up students with alumni. And so if you're compelled to click on that link on the website, gives you an opportunity to be mentoring a student and a great opportunity to give back to Farmhouse in a meaningful way. Of course, suggesting names for new members, we always appreciate that. And the other thing is one of our board members that we're going to hopefully elect today was actually recommended to us by another alum. And it was a young man that we didn't know because he was from a different time period than us, most of us on the board. When they mentioned his name, oh yeah, we know Brian. Of course, everyone knows who he is. So one of those things where your recommendations for members on the board give us an opportunity to really improve the quality of the people on our board. So again, thank you for all the suggestions you guys had in the past. So with that, any questions? Excellent. Again, thank you, everyone, and we'll turn it over to Dr. Lanigan.
Thank you, Eugene, and thank you to the association board for all of their work and for keeping track of all of the operations here. So all of the men that raised their hand, and we really appreciate your leadership. And thank you, Matt, for keeping things going on the board as well. Eugene already talked about the scholarships, and we were in this room, and for those of us who are here, also in the basement for Founders Day in April, when the tornado warning sirens went off. But over $80,000 in scholarships. You can see in the report, there's a summary of those accounts that we use for scholarships and to support these men, not just individually, but also to go to FLI, to go to Conclave. And those are really important services. And actually, I think that our Iowa State men going to Conclave and going to FLI make Farmhouse Fraternity International better. Because these guys standing here are the real leaders in the fraternity. And I really, you would be so proud of them if you saw them at those venues. They're the leaders, and they're really taking off. We have a number of alums that are very active at the international level as well. Jim Tobin is a Farmhouse Foundation Board of Trustee member, who recently retired. Lloyd Bettis is on that, and what's that?
Brian.
And Brian Woolley as well. Thank you for helping me with that. Corby Victor is on the International Executive Board, and we appreciate his leadership there as well. My job is actually pretty easy. I serve as the foundation council chair for and liaise with the foundation and the association board and the chapter, and it's a very easy job because there's great people at Farmhouse Foundation to work with Allison and Michaela, for example, and working with Ryan and the chapter leaders here, and certainly Matt and those members there. My job today, actually, I just want to make, we talked about scholarships, and we talk about recognizing men and recognizing their leadership and recognizing them making a difference in Farmhouse and Farmhouse making a difference in them. Today, I'm really honored to announce that there's going to be a new scholarship coming from a newly established endowment fund at Farmhouse Foundation. And that is through a gift from the Fichter family. It's going to be the Fichter Family Scholarship Endowment Fund. And it's a very generous donation and a commitment. Starting next year, there'll be a $5,000 scholarship for a farmhouse man that could be from this chapter. The preference, one of the criteria could be, but it also could be for a farmhouse man in a different chapter. I'm very humbled to be able to thank the Victor family, Corby and Jean especially, but Adam and Austin and Heidi, Chris, all of you for your contribution. And I understand that Heidi is going to come up and talk about this. No? Oh, but that's what I was told. So, Corby, why don't you come up and talk about the genesis of this idea and talk about this? And thank you so much, all of you, for your contribution, the whole family, in your support of FarmHouse. So thank you very much.